Yo guys, so the first beta of Android P dropped yesterday. I've installed it, been using it for a little while, and I gotta say I am impressed. Apple certainly has a lot to learn from this new firmware. So in this video, I'd like to take a look at the biggest features in Android P and basically what Apple can do to learn from them in iOS 12. And it's gonna be really hard to deny that Android didn't take some inspiration from Apple going into the new gesture-based controls and the look of it all, but I gotta appreciate the fact that they redesigned a lot of things. Many things look different, and Apple's just looks stale in comparison. They've been using the very same icons, same design for the longest time, so I'd like them to take a little inspiration from this, redesign the small stuff, the little icons. Here and there in Android P, you're going to notice things are a little different looking, a little bit cleaner, and I do appreciate that. And now that we're living in a modern world without home buttons, Android P certainly reflects this. Everything is gesture-based, and it looks very much like the iPhone X's experience, although they do have their own twist on it. I would like Apple to learn a couple things from this. You should be able to swipe up on apps to dismiss them just like that. The ability to go into an app drawer while swiping all the way up is also pretty cool, and you can actually go back and forth between all the apps using a little slider on the bottom, which is pretty nifty. So a couple little tweaks there, and Apple's experience could be really great as well. And being such a small change in Android P, I'm surprised I like it so much. The redesigned volume indicator in Android P is great. Slides in from the right, it's really bubbly, very small, but you get a lot of control with it, and you can easily dismiss it just by clicking to the left of it. In comparison, Apple's is in the middle of your display. You have no control. You have to wait until it times out. And Google's camera application was already legendary, I think. Now it's only getting better with machine learning. Within the app, you're going to be able to get translations, direct links, even get some information on the type of food you're eating, and also in-camera controls. That is amazing. Apple, take note. This is a top priority for iOS 12. And the text selector in Android now looks a lot like the iOS version with the magnifier, but it's so much smarter. When actually looking something up, it'll give you different prompts depending on what you're looking up. And the cool thing is, within the actual app switcher, you can select text, copy and paste it to other apps. And Google certainly made strides to make your phone much healthier with a digital dashboard. It'll give you a look at how much you use your device, which part of it you use the most, how many times you unlock it. Basically gives you a healthy overview of what you need to do better or less of. It's actually a very good idea and can be particularly useful for kids. And yes, notifications on Android were already a thing of envy for iPhone users, but now they get even better. Hold on a notification and you'll get options for actual notifications, and on the bottom left, you can easily get to the notification settings for these certain apps. Shortcuts on shortcuts everywhere, but I think the number one priority for Apple in the notifications is of course grouped notifications, just organizing the mess because it's quite bad right now in iOS 11. And Google fixed something that I didn't even realize was annoying me: auto brightness. Adaptive brightness will adapt to your habits of adjusting the brightness levels, and then depending on what kind of levels you get into, it'll keep those levels there where you wanted them. This way, you avoid having to go into your display settings all the time and always changing it. Also, adaptive battery uses machine learning to determine which apps you might use next and which ones it should kill in the background. And next up is Shush and an improved Do Not Disturb mode. If your phone is flipped over, it won't make any more audio noises, but we already have this on iOS. The next part is a cool part. Do Not Disturb gets smarter, where if it's enabled, you won't receive any notifications, any vibrations, any sounds, no distractions whatsoever. It literally hides your notifications, while on iOS, it's not quite so discreet. And this next feature is great. Apple certainly needs it. I think it could certainly extend your life even by getting you to sleep more. It's called Wind Down. And unlike Night Shift or True Tone, which adjusts the color temperature of your display, this one literally turns it to black and white gradually as you approach your bedtime, which you have earlier set. And there it is, guys. Android P and its best features I'd like to see in one form or another on iOS 12. I mean, I gotta give Google props. They really innovate. They think outside the box. There was stuff in this video that I didn't even realize I wanted, but now do in iOS. So I have high hopes for iOS 12 coming here in just a few short weeks, beta 1 at least, final release being in September. So let's see what Apple has in plan, but I think that a lot of it's going to be similar to what we're seeing here with Android P, a lot of machine learning and digital health stuff, but hopefully there's a redesign in there as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's Android P, and stay tuned for the big reveal of iOS 12. Peace.